Hello everyone, I am back on YouTube. I realized that my last video was recorded like a year ago, which is insane. It does not feel that long. Sometimes you forget like how quickly a year just goes by. I mean, I feel like I recorded that Colorado video like not that long ago, and I was like, oh, there's no way, like I haven't recorded a YouTube video in that long, but it's literally been a whole year, like over a year now at that point, which is just crazy. I have been locked inside all week because I've been sick, so I apologize if I sound congested, but I decided to put some makeup on, do my hair a little bit, and I was watching my old YouTube videos and I just felt like I really missed making YouTube videos and connecting with people online and my family and friends out there and sharing my story and my journey through architecture and life. That's kind of why I started my channel in the first place back in architecture school, my 5th year, which I can't believe was like 4 or 5 years ago at this point, 4 years ago. Time really flies when you graduate. I have to remind myself every day that I am not a recent graduate anymore. I mean, I'm still like kind of fresh, but also it was 4 years ago, and like sometimes you have to get over it. I mean, I think I'm past the point where I am like, oh man, I miss school. Like I definitely don't miss school, but I am still so young and like new in my career that I still feel like a recent graduate, I guess you could say, because there's still so much that I don't know and need to learn. But I initially started my channel to share like portfolio tips and document my 5th year thesis, which I think I did really well, and I still like love watching those videos back because it shows me a past version of myself that was really passionate and inspired and really hardworking towards something that I really love and desired. So I'm really happy that I have those memories and that I have like documentation with my friends and what we were doing like late in the studio and preparing for presentations. Like it's definitely a time in my life that was really transformative, and so I'm really glad that I have them. I also really enjoy like documenting my travels because it's something that I love to do and inspires me as well. Traveling is one of my favorite things to do. I love going to new places, going back to some of my favorite places and just documenting the experience and the travel memories with friends and family, and so I'm really glad I have them. That's why I continue to do it, and also to share just like what I'm going through in my career, different transitions, what I'm currently working on, where I've been this year. So I have no plan for this video. I'm kind of just jumping on here to share like what I've been up to, things that I've been doing really well in, things that I've been struggling in, just to kind of be an open book and share like what's been up. I have my photos here from the past year to remind me and like jog my memory of what exactly I've done. I don't know if you're like me, but sometimes I forget just how much I've done in a year, because the day-to-day can seem like you're just doing the same thing every day, like going to work, coming home, like doing your normal routine, but it takes a lot to like step back and look at how many amazing things you've actually done in the year. So with the new year coming up, I encourage you all to do that. Like just go back through your photos from like the beginning of 2023 and look back at everything you've done, because it can really make you feel proud of all that you've accomplished, all the people you've spent time with, the places you've been, how you've improved yourself or like worked on yourself, and it's a way to assess your growth as well. So I encourage you all to do that. I guess I'll start with like work. I don't want to go too much into work because like no one loves to talk about work, right? But part of my job is architecture, and part of this channel is architecture, so like I'm going to talk about it. I've been really asked to step up this year in my job, which is really awesome, and I've learned so much so far. I'm currently in a big transition phase with my job of just learning the construction side of architecture now and getting involved in that phase of design. So I kind of feel like a newbie, but I'm doing my best trying to coordinate with everybody. But I got to go to 3 parks this year. I think 3, I might be missing one, but 3 off the top of my head. I have one in Texas near San Antonio, so my project manager and I went to all of the Spanish missions in San Antonio, and I'll throw some photos in here of those. They're so beautiful. We finished, I think there's 7 of them. The first time we went to San Antonio, we did the Alamo and one other San Jose mission, and then the second time we went this past winter, I guess, or spring, we finished all of them, so that was really cool. Definitely something I didn't know about, and saw some beautiful just Spanish missions and architecture, and learned a lot about the history of the missions in San Antonio. I think the week after, literally, it was a crazy 3 or 4 weeks of traveling for work. They were all like back to back. I did not know how I was going to do it, honestly. Then I went to Wyoming for another project, which is like total opposite climate. And it was snowing while we were there, but I have a project at Devil's Tower National Park, so we went to Devil's Tower, which I had never been. Never thought I would go to Wyoming at all in my life if you had asked me ever. Didn't think I would end up there, but it was so beautiful. We hiked around Devil's Tower, we went to Mount Rushmore, just so expansive out there, a lot of wildlife, so many beautiful mountains, like it was so cool. I think a few days after that, when I got back, went to the Outer Banks for one of my other projects, which is a 200-year-old lighthouse and keeper's quarters residence that we are literally lifting onto concrete piles to save it, because the whole site gets flooded when there's big hurricanes. So we went there. That's my favorite place to go. It's a small little town on the Outer Banks that you have to get to by ferry, called Cape Hatteras Ocracoke Island, and we spent some time out there, so that was really awesome. And I've just really grown in my career this year. I have been recognized for the work I'm doing. I've really stepped up as far as responsibilities and taking action on projects. I have expressed working in other studios on some work, so I've got to work in our local government studio a little bit. We recently got residential at our firm, which is really exciting for me, because I mentioned in the past that I really love residential and that's my passion. So I'm trying to get my foot in the door with that, but it hasn't really taken off as I expected. So I don't know if I'm going to have an opportunity to work in that studio full time. So I'm considering that because that is really the direction I want to go in with my career. So keeping that in the back of my mind, definitely, as far as what I want in the future. A.R.E exams were like a big topic on this channel. I really made it my life. I'd say if anybody knows me personally, it's literally all I like talk about during exam season. It's definitely the hardest thing I've ever done, like even harder than school was, I think, because you're kind of doing it alone, and architecture school, you have a big group of people to go through the program with, and you are like having to prepare presentations and be tested on your work. But at least in my case, like I really thrived in school, and I don't mean this in a bad way. Didn't really like fail at things, I guess you could say. Like, of course I failed exams in the past, but not like continuously failing, okay? Like I would maybe get a couple bad grades a year and that was it. But like overall, I did really well in all my classes, was really good academically. But if any of you have studied for the A.R.E, you know how different of a challenge it is. And you can fail like multiple times, and you literally just have to keep picking yourself back up over and over again. And it can be a really isolating process. I think last year when I recorded my last video, I had just passed my 3rd exam, and I was recording my studying progress at that time, I think a couple of videos before the last one. So I had finished my first 3 exams. It took me a little over a year to pass the first 3. I clearly didn't know like what I was doing or how to study for the first year, and I made a lot of mistakes. So if you want me to do a separate video, I probably will, on the A.R.Es when I'm completely done with them. I will, on just like what not to do and like what I did, what were my main resources that I used. But I finally passed my first 3 last year, and this past October I passed, so like a couple months ago, I passed my 4th and 5th test a week apart, which was so amazing. Like, you have no idea. I had been testing all this year from February to October with multiple fails in between then, so many. It was literally a really hard time for me, honestly, and I'll probably open up more about it, but some of the hardest few months of my life so far. Just going through those fails, also dealing with things personally in my life. I'd say the past like 2 months or so, I feel like I've really gotten myself out of that hole, at least somewhat, but just getting really depressed and sad about failing over and over again and feeling like I wasn't making any progress. And at that point, I was like 2-ish years into the test taking process, and it can be really hard to keep going when you just continuously keep failing. And like, yes, you are making progress and you're getting better, but it's really challenging to like pick yourself up again and keep going, along with trying to work full-time at the same time and still do well on your exams. So I was really happy to see my hard work pay off with those last 2 exams a couple months ago, especially like a week or 2 apart. I was so thrilled, like you have no idea. And if you're in the process, you know you can only take an exam 3 times a year, like 1 exam 3 times a year. So I had 1 more left, my 6th exam. Finally, like maybe I'll be done with this thing. It was my 3rd attempt on this test this year. Unfortunately, I did not pass it, but you know what? I came super close, and I do have to wait 6 months to take it again. So I have to wait till April 25th to take it again. But I'm taking this time to really rest and refocus my attention on myself and things I enjoy. I had to change my camera battery. That might happen again. But I was gonna say, I hope in April that I'm ready to like jump back into that exam and studying process so that I feel rested and refocused. Now that I only have to focus on 1 exam, I feel like I can do it. And I hope by the next time I record a video, I have passed my test. I have learned, especially just to be like graceful with myself, to be generous with myself. This has been the most transformational like growth process I've ever been through, because I've had to push myself through it. I have been the only one to hold myself accountable to keep going. I've been involved in study groups. I am in a study group. Like, that helps, yes, but like at the end of the day, it's you pushing yourself to get this thing done. And I just want to like give myself a pat on the back because I'm proud of myself for just continuing to go on, even when it's been difficult. In February, when I'll start studying again, it'll be my 3rd year with this exam. And if I think about it, like I've been testing since I basically got out of school, and that's another reason why it's felt like I've kind of been living the same year for 3 years, because I've just been working on this goal, right? I was so ashamed in the beginning that it was taking me this long, but really, like, who cares? At the end of the day, like, I just had to accept that, like, this is where I'm at, this is how long it's taking me, and I would rather it take me longer and learn the information more deep and be a better architect because I took the time to really study. And if anything, it's taught me perseverance, confidence. Like, obviously I have great test taking skills now because I know what to do and what to look for, but I'm really just proud of myself for continuing to go on. And I think that's a life skill that is going to help me down the road, and that's why I can be grateful for it taking me longer than most people. For me, my journey is not passing 6 on the first try, and that's okay. A lot of people don't. So like, don't feel bad if you haven't, or that if it takes you multiple times to take tests and to pass them. I'm in a group with a lot of people that study, and most people take a test at least 4 times and pass. I think I'm on my 20th exam. I'll just be honest about that. There's 6 tests you have to pass. I've taken about 20 or 21 exams at this point, which might seem crazy. It doesn't make me stupid. It doesn't make me any less of an architect. Like, I'm gonna get there when I get there. At the end of the day, we're all gonna be licensed architects. So like, it doesn't matter how you get there. It just matters that you do and that you don't give up. So that's my bit of advice on that. I've done a lot of great traveling this year. Nowhere out of the country. Well, I did go to the Bahamas, I'll mention that, but I really connected with different friends this year, which is something that I struggled with this year, was also friendships and finding like a core group of people. back in May, I got invited on a girls trip with Chris's cousins, and family is really important to me, and so I was really honored that his cousin reached out to me to go on a girls trip to Charleston, which, if you know me, Charleston is like one of my top 3 favorite places to visit. And so I was really excited to be invited on a girls trip. It was so much fun just to like go there. It was also my first solo trip, like driving to Charleston by myself and driving back by myself, which might seem crazy to a lot of people. I'm sure tons of people travel alone, but I've never done a road trip by myself. I'm very dependent on like other people, and I get a lot of anxiety going on road trips by myself because things can happen. I actually did get a nail in my tire. I was in the middle of nowhere. The light went on. I was kind of freaking out. Luckily, I didn't get a flat. But yes, there was a nail in my tire the whole way home. So I'm just like thankful to God that like nothing happened to me while I was out there by myself. A few weeks later, went to Savannah for my 26th birthday with Chris and his friends. We called the Monkeys, and Emily and Jackie came, and we had such a fun weekend. Like, it rained, it was so cold, but we made the best of it. We had a big house, we went out, we went dancing like at a Taylor Swift themed night. Like, it was so much fun. We just had the best time, like dancing and goofing off, and I think that's something that I was lacking in my life, was just like pure goofiness and not being so serious all the time. I've been kind of a rigid person, just very like disciplined in my routine and like my studying and like like this is what I do, and I didn't allow myself a lot of freedom to just like be. And so to be around them brings a sense of like silliness and childlike energy that I have been lacking in my life, and just being around them makes me feel really good and happy, and like connects me to a former version of myself that I love and have been missing. This year was the year of the disco. Okay, if you know me, I've been to a lot of discos this year, 3 exactly. We have kind of been traveling with the disco. And if you're asking what the disco is, it's called Gimme Gimme Disco. They have them in multiple cities throughout the country, and they just host them on various weekend nights at different venues, and you can just go for like $20 and dance to 70s and 80s music. So my friends and I have made a thing of getting dressed up and going out to these discos in different cities. And it has been so much fun. Again, like connecting with my childlike energy. It's been a blast. Pretty much like the top 2 places I went this year were Charleston and Savannah. We went back to Savannah again in July for a weekend just on the water with his cousin, and that's like my favorite place to go. So it's just been crazy. I'm actually going back in like 2 weeks again because we're going for New Year's. It's just like, since we have family there now and they're like our friends too, we just like always love to go down there. And I love being by the water. It's my favorite place. I think if I were to live anywhere else, it would be Savannah. I used to say it was Charleston, but like they're very close. But just because we have family there, I think I would live in Savannah. And I love the history and the architecture. And it's just like my favorite place to be on the water in the summer. Oh my gosh, there's truly nothing like it. I kind of love this whole like spontaneous living thing. I don't know. My cousins and their family had a few nights at the Atlantis that they got, so they were like, you should try and come. And after my last fail on my test, I was pretty bummed, and I decided, hey, I'm just gonna use Sky Miles and I'm gonna go. I'm only gonna go, it's 2 days, but I'm just gonna fly down there and then come right back. And that's what I did, and it was so much fun. I am so glad I went. I do not regret it at all. It was a quick trip, but like I got to go to the airport by myself, do my whole like airport morning thing, which is a way that I connect with like my independence, and then meet them there, have the best time, like going on water slides, which at first I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna go on water slides, like I don't really feel like it, but so glad I made myself go. Me and my cousins and their kids. My cousins are all older than me, but like we were just adults being kids that day. Like, it was so much fun, and I'm so glad I got to build those memories with them. I just wanted to come on here and give an update of like where life's been at, what I've been up to. This year has been like, even though I've done all these amazing things, it's been a very difficult year, just as far as like what I'm working through personally, growing, like trying to be independent while also living at home still, losing friendships, gaining new ones, reconnecting with myself, and like building really meaningful relationships that I'm very proud to call my own. It's just been like a really tough year working through all of that and figuring out like where I want to be in my career. I realize I'm only like 3 years out of school and I still have so much time, but like I don't really know where I want to go with architecture, and I've talked to some other friends about that. I think I know where my passion lies. I know what I want to do, but I can't put words to it. Like I don't know how to describe it or how to even get to where I want to be. And I just feel like at this point I'm trying a lot of things and I'm learning as much as I can and doing the best I can at everything I'm doing, or at least trying to, just so I can like learn a lot and have a good foundation. I feel it's like a very confusing time in my life, but also like the time you're supposed to be trying different things to figure out like where exactly you want to be. I don't really know where I'm going or like what I'm doing, but I think a lot of people are at that point. I'm just trying to do the best that I can do at where I'm at right now in life, and I feel really content with where I'm at. I just know like it's not my end all be all, but I am confident and I have no doubt that like I'm going to end up where I'm supposed to, because I don't give up on things very easily. When I have something in my head, like it's always there and it's always coming back. So I'm gonna follow my passions. I'm going to put myself out there and continue to be creative and just like let these thoughts flow. But that's just a little update on where I'm at, and hopefully I feel better soon. I'm ready to like get back out there and do stuff, because after being inside all week, I am craving social attention. That's why I am talking so much to the camera. But hope y'all are well. Good to see you, good to be back, and I'll talk to y'all next time. Bye.